Good morning. It's been about a little over a year since I did a health update, so I thought I'd get on and talk about that. And interestingly enough, this morning I got a notice that my last year's update, which was October 17th, was just taken down for medical misinformation. I'm not sure how a lot of my videos stay up actually, but they do. And yeah, so there's that. So I'm gonna keep, it was a warning, not a strike. I did get a strike also on a very old video, might have been 2 years old, probably 3 months ago or less. Might have been a little more than 3 months ago. I got a strike for that one, for medical misinformation. So I'm going to keep going and do this as long as I can. Just tell my experiences. I don't know why my experiences are medical misinformation, but these are my experiences. So last August I moved to this new location in the country, and which has been a very great thing. But I've been super busy early on in that, and I've gotten caught up a lot with things around this new house and with my previous house that I'm renting. So things have settled down in that regard a little bit, but I've still stayed busy with the farms, helping at the farms, and with my regular job and all that stuff. So I wanted to talk about basically what I've been eating, which is one of my favorite subjects, and probably why a lot of people got interested in my channel. Last year, August 4, when we moved the first truck of stuff here, was my last day I had any caffeine or CBD, alcohol, and any kind of drug, chocolate. I think I might have had one small piece of chocolate cake one time in the past year. I can't think of anything else that I've had. Been completely clean of anything that modifies the mood or anything like that. Stimulants, depressants like alcohol, or any kind of drug or alcohol. And that's been a really great thing for me over the last probably 6 years since I've been working towards health. I was back and forth with all that stuff, and which is just not good at all. I'd make some gains and lose them, and I'm not doing that anymore. Thank you, God. You know, Jesus, I'll say it again, Jesus is the healer. I look to him every morning when I wake up. I look to him every day for direction, and I dwell in him and for help to stay away from all that stuff and to lead me into what I should be doing. So that's the number one thing I would still say is, if you want to get healthy, look to Jesus. Be led by the Holy Spirit. So in the past year, I've been lowering slowly the sweets, not as much raw milk. If I was drinking it, it was sour most of the time. I've had raw cheese, raw egg yolks still, 1 or 2 a day normally. So there's the raw component. Yogurt from the farm, all rotationally grazed, chemical free dairy when I have it. And meats from the farm, primarily lamb and ground beef, steaks, chicken, all rotationally grazed, chemical free from an Amish farm. Sometimes we get steaks from the grocery store. They're always grass fed. And let's see what else is going on. My tooth has gotten better. That the dentist gave me the oral surgeon card for. I just was back to the dentist not long ago, and it looks better on the x-ray, and it feels a lot better. So it's on this side actually. See, I forgot even which side it's on. When I press on it, it still is a little sensitive, but not like before. It's getting stronger every day. Lowering the sweets really had a lot to do with it. I don't eat any fruit. I can't remember the last time I had fruit. I was eating some honey, and then I had this honey pollen propolis. I had some of that last night, just like I would say a third of a teaspoon, and I hadn't had any sweets in a long time because I've been eating just more meat and fat and raw butter with no salt usually. I forgot to tell that one. That's another raw component. Anyway, I had this honey propolis pollen thing, and I felt terrible from it. Just like messed up my head, almost like alcohol, and felt like I had a hangover later. So I threw it in the trash. I've been moving more and more towards carnivore lion diet. I don't know if I will make it to completely lion diet, but I've been studying people who are doing it, like Michaela Peterson. She had arthritis all her life, and the only thing that works for her is eat ruminant meats, like they chew the cud, which is cow, lamb, goat, bison. So it seems to be working for me. I mean, I feel better without the sweets. So I am moving towards more meat and fat, animal products. I've eaten a lot less. I've dropped the potatoes and rice. Haven't eaten them in a long time. I say that, let's see, I lowered them for the last 6 months to a year. And at the beginning of September is when my wife started saying I'm going to try mostly carnivore, because she's been following some things like that. I've also been following Carrie from Homestead How and people that he's interviewed. This one woman healed of almost everything you can think of major. Carrie himself, this guy Bill Knott in Alaska, some others. So just been exploring the normal people on carnivore. There's Laura Spath. Watched a little bit of Lily, who's not totally carnivore, but that was up my alley. People like that are having great results. And when my wife said she wanted to do it, I thought I was already being led to go more in that direction all year. So before she even started cutting out more of the carbs, I did. So maybe 2 months ago, I really started lowering them. And by the beginning of September, I think I had my last squash soup, which was mostly bacon and bacon fat in there. Was beginning of September, like the 2nd. This is the end of September right now, September 30th. And then we went to a farm gathering of another farm in the area, and I ate some potatoes there and some coleslaw and nothing else serious. Like, I didn't have any sweets or ice cream or anything like that, I don't think. But we have made our own ice cream, even this month. There's very little honey in it. There's just cream, heavy cream from Levi, which is this really heavy chemical-free rotationally grazed cream from an Amish farmer. Really great. Just cream, egg yolks. What else? She put butter in one of it. Didn't really turn out a great consistency, but very little ingredients, mostly cream and a tiny bit of honey. Yeah, so there's been a lot of other things going on this year. I started bee venom therapy probably 12 weeks ago. Started with partial stings, which are called micro stings, up in this shoulder area because this shoulder's been bothering me a lot. I injured it somehow, I think with a horse pulling on me. And it just has been bothering me. And so I went for the bee venom therapy. I had partial stings, then I had full single stings for a couple weeks. I would go once a week on Mondays. Then I started this, what they call the Lyme protocol for anyone who's had Lyme disease or arthritis, joint problems. It's in the middle of the back. So you start at the middle of the back and you do stings about an inch from the spine on both sides, and you go down. And I was doing that for 4 weeks here in September. And ever since I started the bee stings, that was also the same time when I was changing the diet a lot. And I would notice that the diet was making me have withdrawal symptoms, which I expected. So I would get, slow and a little depressed and some joint pain and not feel like getting up and going in the morning, stuff like that. But especially with the bee stings, I was having even more of that. A day, 2 days, 3 days after the bee stings, sometimes just didn't feel like even getting out of bed, and really bad joint pain where I didn't even want to do my stretching routine. It was just so bad. And sometimes not able to haul buckets at the farm of stuff. So that's kind of how it's been. I still feel kind of low like that. I'm coming to you at a time on purpose when I'm feeling pretty low from what I've been doing, because I want to come with a reality of what's going on with me, not just in the good times. Lots of people do that. They just come in the good times. I want to tell you these things have been difficult to get through, and I rely on God to get me through them. The cleansing and healing is very difficult sometimes. When I dropped all the alcohol and cigarettes and caffeine, it's very difficult for months. 1 month, very bad. 2-3 months till I started feeling better again. So with this diet change, I've also got back on my mineral supplements from Hair Mineral Analysis, and they always sort of make me feel worse before I feel better. So I did a whole other round of them every day, probably 1/3, 1 time a day instead of 3 times a day taking them. So a lot less than what he's recommending, but I wanted to do it that way. I think they're also causing me cleansing. I also mixed up something else that I probably shouldn't say, that pulls out toxins out of your body. So I've been doing that too. So anyway, it's all been a little bit too much, really, and I got a call a few days ago that the guy who does the bee stings, he's probably going to be quitting doing it. So I'm not going to go this Monday because he's basically determined that he's quitting unless he changes his mind, which is fine for me because I think I need a break from that anyway. Although I thought that I should probably stick with it to keep it going in because it was really doing something. You know, they're known for increasing the blood flow and being antiviral and all this stuff. And people have talked about great results from joint problems. But some of them, it took 6 months till they started feeling better. So they would feel worse before they felt better. So anyway, I'm really more focused at this point. I think I'm being led more into the mostly animal product eating, way of eating, lifestyle. Lifestyle they call it because diet is short term, lifestyle is more long term. I really think that probably is going to work for me. There's been a lot of people, Michaela Peterson's one of them with the joint problems. She had joints replaced, several joints replaced, at least 2, when she was really young. And now she's got no symptoms of arthritis as long as she stays on just the meat, salt, water. That's all she eats, I think. But I've been doing meat, mostly fatty meat at my farms. The ground meat is full of fat. They put all the fat back into the meat. Whereas the grocery store, they trim it off so that it's lean. Like people want lean meat because they're told that that's good for them. So, yes, I'm eating very fatty meats. I'm eating lamb, goat, I would say in this order: lamb, beef, probably in equal amounts. Excuse me. Some chicken, some seafood sometimes, fish, shrimp, scallops. I've done sardines. I did a 3-day, 72-hour sardine challenge, like Dr. Boz talks about. That was this month, early on, and I really enjoyed that. I felt like it reset me to not be craving as much carbs. You know, I used to also eat sourdough bread. I haven't had any of that in a long time. I was also this year, in the middle of the year, doing vegetables from the farm and potatoes and corn a little bit for a couple weeks, organic corn. I'm not doing any of that anymore. So the meats, I was doing a little bit of sour milk this month. I've pretty much cut that out. I just actually took this morning my sour milk jar from the fridge and emptied it and threw it away because I'm going to be off of that. I'm not saying I'm not going to have some once in a while, some milk. I may have a little bit here and there, or cooked into something or something like that, but not like every day like I have been. I'm going to focus on the meats, the raw, unsalted, chemical-free, rotationally grazed butter. Sometimes at almost every meal I'll have a big wooden spoon of that, which is probably 2 to 4 tablespoons, probably 3 tablespoons about, usually. So standard is almost every meal I'll have an egg yolk and 3 tablespoons of the unsalted raw butter. And the egg yolk is raw also. So that's where my fat source is coming from. I think those two things are very healing. But I'm going to focus more on the fatty meats and not as much of the dairy. I will still have cheese, I would say, but I've been lowering the cheese kind of naturally. I was eating a lot of it earlier this month. In fact, I might have been eating too much. I don't, it was time period. There's time periods you go through it that you need certain things more than others. I think I needed the cheese. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to bring up, that why I'm not feeling great right now, is that about 2 weeks ago, yeah, something like that, they say when you move into eating more of the meats, like into keto, carnivore, or lion diet, 70% of the people get this keto flu, which is like flu-like symptoms and flushing and all this stuff, aches and pains. And so I had that. I was feeling great, pretty good before that. Let me qualify that. In the last few months, I've been feeling achy and down, but right before I had this flu, I was feeling a lot better than I was. And then I had like the flu. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to eat. I was nauseous. I had really bad aches and pains. I couldn't work, really. I took off work for 2.5 days. And that was probably a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. And this week I've been getting better, a lot better, but I'm still not right. I'm still poppy and achy in the joints, and but without the bee stings this week, I think I'm going to make some gains. Yeah, so there's where I am. Still to be determined where I'm going with this and how it's going to turn out. I think most people turn a corner around 3 weeks, start feeling less of the cleansing and flu-like thing, but then it probably takes about 6 weeks to really start feeling better. And seems like I'm on that track. Seems like I'm getting a little better every day. But I really expect, as before, with changes in my diet and stuff like that, it's taken 3 to 6 months to really see a difference. And I think I'll probably start feeling a lot better then. I do feel more stable, a lot more stable, cutting out the carbs, even though there's been the joint pain and the cleansing flu thing and lot lower energy than normal. I do feel more stable and sustained energy and going longer between eating and not having strong cravings to eat and not thinking about food all the time, which is a wonderful thing that lots of people say about this lion diet, carnivore, and about the sardine challenge. It was really awesome to go 72 hours from your first can to your last can. You have to go from first can to last can. Eat one, that starts it, and it doesn't end until after 72 hours anytime you eat a can of sardines. And for some reason, this really does a trick on your ketones and putting you into ketosis, and I felt that. it really stabilizes you. It makes you feel really just mentally and physically sound and stable, unlike the carbs and all of the ups and downs that are from carbs and sugar, sweets, fruit, all that. So yeah, I'm coming to you at a time of transition, uh, showing you the real stuff that happens. Also, we've had a tropical storm. I haven't seen the sun in probably 7 to 10 days, and it doesn't look like I'm going to see it until a couple of days from now, at least. So that's been really tough. I was super depressed. Really bad depression. Everything in life felt terrible and very unhopeful, and terrible thoughts of depression and despair. And I knew it was all this bee sting and cleansing and stuff like that and diet change, but it doesn't really help things. You just feel like it's all real, and there's just sometimes no way out of it. You just got to get through your day. So there you have it. I will keep you updated. I hope to do more of these. This is really what I want my channel to be more of. I've gotten more into the shorts, which are so easy to do, and I like them a lot. I will probably continue with those, but I really would like to sit and talk more, because every time I do one of these, I think I'm just going to talk for 10 minutes, and then I end up talking a lot. I think it's good for me. I think it's good for people to hear this stuff. I've sat and listened to long talks by other people who go through the changes of diet change and the struggles with it, and it really helps me a lot. I want to say that whatever you're doing with your health and your diet, keep doing it. Keep exploring. Look to God. Hang in there, because it really is worth it. You know, I'm over a year without any of these things that used to tempt me all the time. It's a great feeling. I feel great about that. You know, my family feels better about it. My daughter has said things to me, how she likes me better and how I act. That's just such a wonderful thing. You just can't imagine how your life can get so much better by just hanging in there and making little changes all the time. I'm not one of these people like Carrie Mann, I think, Homestead How. He just pretty much went cold turkey into carnivore. I haven't been one of those people. I've been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on stuff for 6 years. It takes, if you do that, don't feel bad. Just get back on. This is the normal cycles of life, I would say. For most people, it's going to take a series of on and off, trying stuff, you know, feeling how you feel, asking God for the right thing. Also, another thing I wanted to bring up was when I went for the bee stings, I was reading a book about that. All about bee stings and other stuff in the hive that's beneficial. I started taking propolis, which is bee glue. They seal up holes in the hive and glue things together. Well, this is apparently very good for you. And so I ordered some of that. There's a tincture that I put in my mouth by this tooth. There's propolis oil if you have anything on your skin. There's these capsules that I ordered from Brazil. It's very expensive, off of Amazon, $75 a bottle. I started taking them one a day. It's probably another reason why I'm cleansing. But during that, I read that if you're doing bee stings, because it impacts your cortisol and your adrenal glands and your hormones, getting hit with that venom all the time, that you should be taking 3,000 milligrams of high quality vitamin C with bioflavonoids. So I started doing that, and immediately I felt it in my body and in my tongue, and it was too much, and I backed down. I actually got a little bit of a nosebleed, which is a sign that you're taking too much of something, at least right away. Maybe you need to back down and come back in. But now I'm taking probably about 2,000 milligrams of that. And on day one, I noticed that this is another big plus of my health that's happened. I noticed that I was able to process the fat and the proteins and the meats, heavy meat meals, much better. That it was helping my gallbladder and liver and digestion. So not only did it make me feel better from the bee stings, like I felt a little boost from it, I'm still on that. I still feel like it's doing good things for me. And I'm able to, this is why I tried in the past, I tried doing like raw primal eating, where you do all animal products raw. And every time I tried that, or to get off of the carbs and the plants, I would get constipated and so slow and lose all of my energy, because I wasn't hungry, because I wasn't digesting the fats and the proteins fast enough to eat more and have energy. You either have to get your energy from carbs or fat. This is what your body burns for fuel. So I wasn't able to eat enough. And if I ate when I wasn't hungry, first of all, that's no fun. It's terrible to eat when you're not hungry. And I would get all stuffed up with my sinuses and just sluggish and slow. So that's why I had kept the carbs, like the white potatoes, peeled white potatoes, for so long, because they were like the least reactive plant food that I would eat. And that worked for me for quite some time. But now I'm able to eat more and digest better, which is great. Thank you, God, for that. So it's something that happened just in time, which is how things tend to work for me and God. So that's one of the reasons why I can go more into these animal products, meats, fats, and eat less of the plant foods. So I think I've summed it up. I think that's it for today. I will try to do this more often, and keep going with what you're doing. Hang in there. It's worth it. Some of these people have had amazing recoveries from depression, from joint problems, from heart problems, from cancer, diabetes. It's been amazing what I've been watching. Watch these people that I'm talking about. I don't cook my meat a lot. I just kind of like sear it on both sides and warm it up mostly on the outside, but it's mostly cold and raw in the middle. So I am eating a lot of raw meat, lamb and steak and beef and goat, like that. and organs. Sometimes I have liver. I've kept in the onions sometimes and mushrooms. My wife and I decided to do that. I also eat some spices like sea salt. Baja is my favorite lately. Baja salt. It's a sea salt. And some stone ground mustard, some horseradish from the farm, and little things like that. Trying to think of what other little things. I'm not completely animal. There are some plant foods still, some spices, a little bit. But I'm moving more and more towards the simplicity. And again, that's just something that is more drawing me than anything. I feel really great about the simplicity and not having to feel like I need some kind of thrill in my mouth. That whole thing of food, pleasure in food. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the meats and the fatty meats and the butter and the stuff I am eating. But this whole thing where there has to be some fireworks going on and all these spices and all this sweets and all this craziness. Thrill is an addiction, is it like an idol that I don't want anymore. I don't want to think about food all day long. I want to fuel my body with the best stuff that there is and do other things in life. So, I'll leave you with that. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Share my videos. Give me a thumbs up. Have a great day.